Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Take2 Radio. I'm Pam, your host, at least for today. And I have all of my lovely crew here today, and I'm just thrilled to death. Hello, crew.
Hi.
Pretty darn thrilled.
I'm telling you, we got everybody here today. We got David, we got Anthony, we got Carolyn, and we got Candace.
Hi.
What a miracle, huh? How did we do that?
You mean a miracle?
Stars are aligned.
Really? A miracle?
Okay.
Well, listen.
It is a miracle. When's the last time we were all together in one show?
Last time?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since we've all been together. But I will say this:
Greg Vaughn.
I would have canceled going to the coronation if it meant coming on and having a shot at asking Galen a couple of questions.
The burning questions that you want to know and more.
Well, speaking of Galen, he is working a little bit late, so he should be calling in about 15-20 minutes or so. But we'll gladly sit here and wait for him to call in. Oh, okay. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right. Wait, no, I got to go. Hold on 1 second.
All right, you go. Because I have been waiting to get back on with Candy Cane over there. Candy, are you ready to talk a little bit?
What are we talking about? What's the topic? What's the hot topic? Hot topic? What's hot topic?
What'd you think of that final nomination list?
Well, you know. Okay. All right. So, let me just say this right now. I am glad that some categories thought outside the box.
Candace, I'm gonna have to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Yes. You'll have to continue in a moment.
Okay. After these commercial breaks. Gotcha.
Yes. Uh-huh. Tonight we are thrilled to have with us actor Galen Gering. He currently plays Commissioner Ralph. Let's try that again. Rafe Hernandez on Days of Our Lives, but he's also well known for his role on Passions as Luis Lopez Fitzgerald. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes, he was.
I would say.
And an eyeful too.
And you also know him from Venice's series, and no matter where you know him from, he's definitely a fan favorite, so let's all welcome Galen to our show.
Yay!
Welcome.
Yay!
Yay
for me. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, Galen.
I'm so happy that you can make it. We have wanted to speak with you forever.
Oh, my God. How did I get so lucky? I'm so sorry because I was freaking out and thought I was going to be trapped on set, but I got my fellow co-stars, as usual, to cooperate, and we got it done, and I literally got done at like 3:58. Like running to change, and anyway, here I am.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of surprised when I saw your call come in. I'm like, is that possibly him? I thought he was going to be late. I'm like, okay, we'll take it.
I love it.
Before we get into our questions for you, we'd like to congratulate you on your son Jensen's new show, Aaron and Aaron, on Nickelodeon.
Yes.
Yeah. very exciting for him. And today, they actually, well, not today, but this week will be, they're shooting their 13th episode. So, yeah, pretty cool.
It's a great show. It's a family show, and I love that he gets to combine his talents of music and acting in one show. I mean, he's just a standout. He's amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's really exciting for him, and obviously gets to showcase his special talent as a singer and someone who can play guitar, and he's playing piano now too. And yeah, it's really neat. And on top of that, like, we were literally playing ping pong together today at lunch because he shoots at the same lot I do, which is just insanely lucky for both of us.
That's funny because I just saw his Instagram story like maybe 10, 15 minutes before we started the show tonight, and I saw you guys playing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he could be anywhere from Vancouver to Montreal to who knows where, and just the fact that it's at this studio and is also like 10 minutes from our house. Just like, oh my God. Well, thank you, universe. Thank you so much.
Right?
Well, yeah, he's great. He's doing
Dad
awesome.
Dad gets to keep a close eye, so, you know.
Yeah, well, sort of.
You know,
I mean, the weird thing is that with COVID and all the testing protocols that we have to go through, which will actually be ending this week, it's kind of like you're isolated. Like, I can't just go over there because, you know, they have their protocol and ours is a little bit different. And so it's kind of weird. It's like we're super close and yet super far at the same time, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. See, now I would have thought if everybody got tested on both sets that it wouldn't be an issue, but I guess it is.
Well, you are right in one sense, but the sort of flip side of that is that they just don't want a lot of other people on set because the testing isn't 100% accurate, and so they don't want, you know, a bunch of people there because it just would increase the likelihood that someone could possibly transmit COVID. And then, I mean, if he gets it, which he actually did a few weeks ago, luckily they were on the dark week, but if one of the main people gets it there, it kind of, you know, it shuts down the whole show for them. Whereas with us, for instance, we have other people in the cast that, okay, you're getting called in tomorrow when you weren't on schedule, and hopefully you can make it. And we fill the voids. But for them, it's like, you know, there's only one of him to be the main guy.
Right?
You know? Yeah.
Exactly. It kind of revolves around him. So that makes sense.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
That makes sense. That helps. Well, we'd love to know how and when you knew that you wanted to be an actor. I mean, your son was relatively young knowing that. Were you like him, a wee boy, or did that come later?
Well, it definitely came later. In fact, for me, I was actually at the University of Miami. I was studying to do stuff behind the camera, writing and directing and producing. And my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, incidentally, and mother of Jensen as well, was like, hey, her friend and agent was like, there's this role that they've been looking for a long time, and I think that Galen's perfect for it. Would he be interested? And I was sort of like, no, not really, not at all. And I passed on it because I was in the final semester of film school at University of Miami, and I was so busy. And then they kept asking, and then another friend of mine, actually a couple friends of mine, were trying out for it. And I was like, well, I might as well just do it. And then they sent the sides, and it was like 10 pages. And I was like, oh, hell no. I can't memorize 10 pages. So Jenna, my girlfriend at the time, my wife, was like, just go in and, you know, wing it. And I did. And then they were like, oh, they want to screen test you in L.A. So then I flew back and forth a couple times during that final semester and screen tested. And then finally they were like, we want you to do it. And so I walked off. I graduated. I walked off stage, and I flew out here and started filming the next day, thinking that I'd probably be promptly fired. And then that show went for 10 years. So you just never know. Like the magic of this business.
Oh, yeah, it sucked you right in. And guess what? That 10 pages looks like nothing nowadays, doesn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say nothing, but, yeah, I've gotten a little better at memorization, yeah, for sure. It's definitely a skill. Well, like, you know, for instance, you know, Jensen's, they do a 25-minute show, and it takes them all week to tape it, basically. And we do 9 shows in 5 days. So we're just blazing. I mean, I saw on the schedule, it was like, 2 hours for this one scene. And I'm like, 2 hours? That's like 2 shows for us, basically.
Right.
Not 2 shows, but like that's 2 shows for me. My part would be like 2 hours, So,
well,
awesome.
I bet he respects you, though, with what you know and your knowledge and being able to help him. And
yeah, it's great. He's got, between Jenna and myself, he's got a really good, I don't know if safety net is the right word, but certainly we can help him with these things and understand these things. And I think that's definitely a bonus for him. I can't help him when it comes to the music or the singing and all that, but I don't think he wants my help anyway. Dad, I got this. You're good. Keep it moving.
Well, you know what sounds good and what doesn't, so I mean that's a help in a way,
true.
I guess,
That is true, No, you're right, Sometimes I'm like, I start to learn this vocabulary too from a singing coach. You gotta place it. Make sure you're placing your. I don't know what the hell it even means. I just
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, if you could sit down and have a chat with Rafe about his love life, what advice would you give him so he finally gets it right?
Oh, for God's sake, poor guy! What a disaster!
Right?
I feel like I don't know that he's the one doing anything wrong. I guess would be, and so if I was going to sit down and tell him something, I guess it would be, hang in there. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it through this, and on to the next. If I look back at all the relationships he's been in, whether it was Sammy or Hope or Nicole or, most of them, I don't know that he's really been complicit in their disaster. To a certain degree, some of them, maybe he was MIA, but I don't know. Certainly with Ava, but that was his own.
He just seems really naive. You know what I mean when it comes to love.
Oh, yeah. I think he just wants to believe that just everyone has the best intentions all the time. I don't know why, because clearly that's not the case. But good for him for not giving up, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, all we need to do now is get rid of all we need to do now is get rid of Abe's little old policy there, and you and Jada can get together, Rafe and Jada, because I think that would be finally a good match.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you think so. Yeah, hopefully that'll happen. It's either going to go one way or the other. Maybe he's going to, maybe there's 3 scenarios, right? Maybe they just end up doing it and no one finds out, which is probably unlikely in Salem because everyone finds out everything.
Right.
Or maybe they change the policy, or maybe they do it and something happens. I don't know. I guess you just have to watch and see what happens.
Of course. You'll have to tune in daily to find out.
Maybe they break up. I don't know.
Let's hope not.
Many possible scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
She is, and I just really, I like you two together, so
thanks.
We'll have to see what happens. I think maybe we even get some more of those magic donuts or whatever it was that you guys ate. And
the muffins.
Make sure she gets one this time.
Yeah, well, if she'd have just ate it, but I think Rafe ate them all.
Yeah.
Or did he give them to the bear?
Yeah. I think Rafe just needs to eat more of those and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you for answering my questions. Next up, we have Candace.
Okay.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, Candace. I'm good. I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, it's Monday. It's the start of a fresh week.
It is Monday, isn't it?
You know, next thing you know, it's going to be Friday. And and then it's going to be like, woo, we made it to the weekend, and then we're back to Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, how did Monday get here so fast? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like when you get older, it's just you literally blink, and it's back to Monday. Weekend, blink,
and we were
Monday.
just on a hiatus, so we had all last week off, and people were like, how was the week? And I'm like, oh, my God, I felt like it was so short.
Right.
So, yeah.
Trust me, I feel you on that one. All right, so my first question is, if you could hang out with either Rafe or Luis for a guy's night out, which one would you pick to hang out with and why?
Probably like either one, and then I would like totally ditch them somehow. Because seriously, like these guys, I mean, I don't know. Like, I lost you in the crowd, Luis. I don't know, where did you go? Yeah, I didn't mean to. Did you have fun? I hope it was great. No, they're both, you know, they're cool. They're just very even keeled, I'd say. I think they're written very similar in terms of their I don't know. Maybe Rafe. Maybe Rafe's more fun. I mean, Luis was like pretty uptight. He was pretty seemingly more uptight and so obsessed with like, oh, the cranes and, you know, to bring down the crane. Like that was really his like only motive in life seemingly, or, you know, being with Sheridan. But I would go with Rafe when I think about it. He's had a little more fun. Yeah. He'd be all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of agree with you on that.
What about you?
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
Because, you know, he was stand-up. I mean, he was, you know, always protecting his family. He really didn't know how to really let loose a little bit.
Right.
And so, but with Rafe, it's like, hey, you know, he has Duke the Bear. He's, you know, doing this. He's doing so. Yeah, I would hang out with Rafe.
At least he tries to let loose. I mean, I don't know if he like fully succeeds like in there, but you know,
I mean,
that guy, he's trying to have a good time over there.
Yeah, I mean, he's more. He knows how to relax in some areas. He knows how to relax. It's just you know, we still got to work with him. We have to. We have to show him, you know, the example. It's like it's okay to let loose and still be responsible, but life is short. Have fun.
Yeah, well, Candace, you could like lead him into, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you would have the power to take him where he needs to go. I'm feeling that from you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay, yeah. Trust me on that one. Okay.
Probably both of them, actually.
Well, I mean, it would be a little bit more work with Luis.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I feel as though that would be a big project. Yeah.
Again, I think you could do it.
Oh, thank you. Well, at least I have somebody believe in me on that one. Okay.
See? I got you.
Thank you. So my second question is, this week is National Teacher Appreciation Week. So shout out to all the teachers out there. Hey, yeah. My question is,
yes, total
name
shout out
a
to all the
teacher,
teachers, by the way.
Right. Was there a teacher that inspired you in your life?
Oh my God, yes. 100%. Not only inspired me, but was so helpful. She was my AP English teacher, and literally, like, I remember she was like, "Wait, what do you mean? Where you haven't applied to what colleges?" And she was like, "Oh no, you need to apply." Helped me get all my applications together. I ended up like getting into Berkeley and UCLA and all these great colleges, and was just like a beacon of light, truly, in my life at a time when I really needed one, to be honest with you, for a little guidance. And I think, like, when I look back on my life, you know, we all need people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all could benefit from people who are mentors and who are really helpful. And she was to me, and there were several others, but she was a teacher. She was the one who was a teacher, and to this day, still totally grateful for her and what she did for me. Even though I never even went to those colleges, but but I did get in, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Aw. I love hearing stories like that because I'm a teacher. So,
yeah. Oh, okay.
So, like, I'm a child care teacher, but it's still, it's a teacher because there's some people who don't really look at child care teachers as teachers, but quote unquote babysitters, that's a whole different discussion for another day. But it's nice to hear how teachers are, they make an impact on somebody's lives, and sometimes they don't know it until, later, or so I wanted to say thank you.
You have an incredibly important job molding them at such a young age and helping them build confidence and, feel free to step forth into the world. I mean, incredibly important at such a young age. That's when we're so easily impacted by so many different things. But, I think we need those people along our lives, like throughout the whole journey, if we're lucky enough to have those people. It's a blessing, no question.
Thank you. And thank you for answering my questions.
Thanks, Candace.
No problem.
Okay, next up we have David.
Hey, Galen. Nice to have you
David,
here.
how are you? Thank you.
I'm doing good, sir.
To be here.
I got a couple for you.
Okay.
Okay, starting out, right after you got out of school, you headed on Passion. So you're very new to soaps. So who was the person or persons that took you under their wing and showed you the ropes when it came to daytime? And what did you learn
great
from
question. And the one person who really stands out in my memory would be Ben Masters, who sadly just recently passed. I'm sure he's helping people up in heaven be better actors or people. He was an incredible actor. He was the one who played Julian Crane. He was my adversary, and yet I loved him so much, but he was such an incredibly powerful and present actor, wise man, and he taught me a lot of things. The power of stillness in acting, because I always felt like I had to show so much and do all these things, and he was just such a force. And we would sit and talk about acting and different things in life, and he just was such a great grounding, calming force, like just a real patriarch for me in that job.
Well, that's a beautiful description. Thank you for answering to that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, my second one has to do with mostly all soap operas. There comes a time when their lead actor or actress dons a dual role. So when you took on Rafe number 2, how difficult became your work on set?
Well, I loved that. That was so much fun for me, and it was incredibly challenging because it wasn't just Rafe and, for lack of a better term, like Rafe 2, but then it became like Rafe 2 trying to play Rafe and not just himself, because there were times when you saw this guy be himself, then you saw him trying to be Rafe, and then you actually, at a certain point in time, Rafe had figured out that he had this Rafe 2 doppelganger, so then he was trying to imitate him being him. So it was like all these different levels, different physicality and sensibility, and also there were scenes where they would both be in the scene opposite one another, and so we had to like film those like as a split screen. And to be honest, just like the amount of material, in addition to the specificity that I was trying to bring to all those different guys, was just like mind-blowingly. It was hard, but it was so much fun. It was a great time, and funny to this day. People are like, "Oh my God, can't we just have Rafe to be Rafe? Like, he was way cool."
Oh my gosh!
Come on, he was way more fun. He was so obnoxious. But yeah, that was very challenging, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for answering my question.
Definitely kept it interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. Next up, we have Carolyn.
Oh, hi, Rafe. How are you?
Hi, Galen.
I can relate. I can relate to Rafe. One of the things I
you know what's funny is, like, I'm so used to that too that I just answered, and it didn't even sound weird to me. Like, Galen, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons I'm attracted to you on the show is you remind me of like a big brother. Mm-hmm. You're always there, supportive, and I really like that quality that you have. Are you like that in real life?
That's a good question. I think in many ways, yes. I certainly am protective of the people that I love, my family and my friends, and I definitely try and look out for them and try and problem solve issues if there's issues within the family, things of that nature. Well, I will say that I could only aspire to, be the level with which, Rafe goes through his life and the altruistic intentions that he always seemingly has, and his, ability when faced with so much adversity to never give up. I think he's a very courageous character in many ways, whether it be, in law enforcement or his ability to not give up on love after so much disaster, or to give up on his sister after her being such a terror, things like that. Like, he has the patience of a saint. So I don't know if I can have that level, But,
well, you appear very supportive and someone that you can go to and kind of guide people and be supportive, which is important, especially today.
Yeah, thank you. I try to be, for sure. I think I have deep friendships, and I always want, especially, I think women talk more on deeper levels, not to be like sexist than guys, but, like, I'll be out with my friends and I'll be like, what did you guys, what's going on with so-and-so in his life? And I'll be like, I don't know, we didn't really talk about it. My wife would be like, oh my God, what did you guys do? You were together for 5 hours. I'm like, I don't know, we just, but I do want, I always want my friends to know that I am there for them to listen, and, I feel like I'm a good listener, and I'm certainly not judgmental in a lot of ways, so.
Well, it comes through for sure.
Well, thank you.
One of my questions is going to be about a New Leash for Life.
Oh, yeah. New Leash for Life, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us how you got involved and why, and how is it going?
So New Leash on Life is an organization that rescues dogs. I think a lot of people end up getting dogs and not knowing how to train them or care for them, especially if it's a puppy, and they require a lot of work, as does a baby. And so this organization, when people give up their dogs because they became too much work or they were tearing up the house, or for whatever reason. There's a million reasons as to why. But this incredible organization serves to help people train the dogs and gives the dogs basically a new leash on life. Dogs that would otherwise potentially have been euthanized at a shelter. They're then taken to the basically like dog farm and trained, and then also trained when they are then with the owner, with a new owner. The owner is then trained with the dog so as to care for the animal in a way that's intelligent, for lack of a better word. So, it's not just what the dog owner needs, but what the dog needs, right? So as to avoid these possible mishaps of dogs chewing up furniture, or going to the bathroom inside the house, or a myriad of other things where people get frustrated with having it, right? That's that organization.
Yeah, it's not like the commercials on TV and the kids and the dogs and the puppies and how wonderful, and that's like giving them a second and which is great. Too bad you can't get a hold of the the owners beforehand. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I think ultimately it can be. There's a lot to learn, and I learned so much through this organization. And as did Jenna, who really jumped in wholeheartedly. It was one of my neighbors was volunteering at the organization when we used to live in the Hollywood Hills, and they were just awesome. A really great organization.
So that's
helping people and helping animals. Yeah.
Well, my second question is on the romances with with your past, with all the past ones. I really enjoyed, and this is quite a few years ago, between you and Kate, and it was somewhat short-lived. Can you? Do you have it? Do the actors have any input in the storylines as far as with the writers or what goes on behind the scenes? Do you have any say in that? As to this is really going great, can we leave it or?
Sure. I mean, I guess the overall my overall answer to that would be not really. That's not to say that actors can't have input. I think that ultimately the writer, head writer, wants to tell a story and doesn't necessarily, if every actor is chiming in all the time, that becomes very problematic for the writer, right? Well, you like this, you didn't like this, you want me to change this, you want me to change. So, I try to sort of stay out of that to answer your question, and sort of, to see what comes along. That, with that said, there have definitely been times when I have voiced my input on certain things, or where they've actually reached out. Oh, how do you think this is going? Do you feel that this is working? But I don't think overall that's how it works, if that makes sense. They have an idea, and then the other thing too is you don't necessarily know if a thing is going away forever once it goes away, right? So it could be, you sort of break up and then you get back together, and then so there's also that too. I mean, obviously the genre is drama, and so it's not going to be good times all the time, because that just gets boring for the viewer. So there's always going to be things, peaks and valleys. And so with that said, you're always oh, okay, we broke up, or we're not together right now, but are we going to be back together? Or, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that I didn't foresee that those two characters would be apart forever, that they would actually, because of the way that their relationship was forged, and it was very spontaneous, that this could relive itself at any point in time, if that makes sense, right?
Okay, keeps us wanting more and waiting patiently.
Yeah, right. So,
and
but,
sometimes impatiently.
Yes.
Yeah. And, I agree with you. I will say that the thing that I really liked about that relationship was that these two characters, they didn't really want anything but this, like, intimacy, companionship in that given moment.
Right.
And I think that that's sort of a novelty. They weren't trying to manipulate one another. They weren't looking for love. They were just like, we like being together, and that's fun. And you're a totally different person than I am, and I'm not trying to change you to be someone else. And I might not even agree with so many of the beliefs that you subscribe to, but, God, we have fun together. And that was like a fun take for me as a character to play, and one that was refreshing. That I don't know that I think the reason that people actually gravitated towards it was because of that it was like something unique. And she's so much fun. Oh my God! So
it's always stood out for me, and no drama like there's. Anyways, I enjoyed that, and
oh, thanks.
Glad to hear that you appreciated it as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for answering my questions, and this has been a pleasure. You're really good, very personable. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
And last but not least, with your last two questions, we have Anthony.
Hi there, Galen. How are you? And let me do a little Louis shout out because nobody gave Louis the love tonight, so I'll give Louis some love. But before I give my questions, we've interacted a few times. I worked for the Associated Press for a very long time, but you are really, really good with your fans. I just wanted to kind of like point that out, and for fans who don't get the opportunities that we get here on the show, to just say, every time I've been around you, you are so darn cool with the fans. So from all of them, thank you.
I appreciate that. I mean, I certainly try. I'm beyond grateful for having fans, and it makes me think back to like just like a quick sort of story and anecdote to this whole thing is like when I started on Passions, and there was a moment when they asked Mackenzie and I, Sheridan Crane, obviously to go to New York, right? We're going to do this signing at Rockefeller Center, and oh my God,
I was there, bro. I was there, but go ahead.
You were there.
I was there. Yeah,
that's
from
incredible.
New York.
Oh my God, I love it. So just like sort of like a backstory, like in our mindset, we were terrified, right? Because we were like, well, who's going to go? Like, who's going to show up? We didn't really, the internet, as crazy as that sounds, wasn't really like a thing. They were like, oh, I think you can go online and there's like this chat boards or something. But it was like you didn't really have any idea what was happening. And so when we got there, there was like thousands of people. There were like people were going crazy, and we were so blown away by that. And I just remember just having this feeling, being like, oh my God, what an incredible life this is to be living right now. Like you always have to be grateful for this. Like you could have shown up, which was your fear, and there have been no one there. And like how dismal and sad would that have been for you? And so, I always just like really tried not to take that for granted because, it was one of those like, oh my God, please God, if I get away with this or whatever, I'll never do this thing again. Or, just like that scenario, like, please God, if people show up, I'll be good, and there were all these people there. And so that's just always been this promise that I've tried to keep, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you give it good. You gave us all real good attention.
So
thank you for the story. That's
crazy
awesome.
that you were there. That was wild. I remember that.
I was I was enthralled. But anyway, my first question is: you've been rather candid throughout your career about your start and how Passions came about, etc. And the one question that no one has asked that I have found, and I've always wondered, and I think a lot of us wonder, when did you finally feel like an actor? What was the moment that it was like, okay, I am this. I'm not doing this, I am this.
Right. Passions was very challenging in that it, like, really kept you on your toes because you were like, what am I even doing? Like now I'm, having these scenes with an orangutan, or like you sort of like never knew what was happening. And so it was very challenging in that regard, and sort of like, I guess would kind of like, it really would have like the propensity to throw oneself off one's game, right? Because you're like, what am I even doing? Is this real? And I think like, it's really had this like sort of cultish staying power because of that, right? That people always, whenever I'll go to something for days or whatever, people are always so into Passions, and it's really like a tribute to that show and its individuality and its absurdness and its ability to be wild. And so, but like, I don't know if I can pinpoint a certain time, but I think ultimately it was like having scenes that were so over the top and so ridiculous, and being able to try and like find some truth in them and not play them as like over the top and ridiculous, and really like just be like, right, because this is my life right now. This is what we're going through. They used to say like, oh yeah, it's written totally over the top, but you have to play it for real. And I think it was like somewhere in there, in some moment of insanity. I wouldn't say that there was like one defining moment on that show where I was like, oh, okay, I can do this, or I have enough experience and I know how to do this. Boy, that's a really good question.
But that had to be a lot of fun, though, kind of like never knowing where it was going to go next and what you'd be expected to have to roll with.
For sure. You would get a script and you'd be like, oh my God, you like, called James Hyde or Travis Schultz or Natalie Z or someone and be like, have you read this shit? That's out of control. Like, it's just what are they going to do? How, and then you would come in and, special effects would be trying to be this, three guys dressed up as a giant worm or something. What is happening? It was pretty wild, but, and I guess the flip side of that coin is the really interesting thing about acting, and the thing, like, still to this day is, like, it's still really challenging. You still have days where you feel, either really locked in, or other days where you're like, oh, God, I'm trying to get into this or find this. It's kind of like, I use a metaphor of being an athlete, right? Like, if at the highest level, these athletes, and still, like, maybe they have a great game or they have a subpar game or whatever. And it's just like, it varies from day to day, if that makes sense. But with that said, you have this skill set with which you can use, you must use, which I must use, to rely upon to, convey truth in the scene to the audience. Oh,
I
really don't feel like I answered your question. I was so long-winded, non-answer.
Boy, I think it kind of did, because the Passions experience was wild in the best way possible. So I'll wrap up with asking you a typical soapy kind of question.
Okay.
The fans that have stuck with you from Luis all the way through, it's a two-prong, by the way, that have stuck with you all the way through, and what does that mean for you? What do you say back to them, and what do you think it means to Days in general that Peacock has been the success it is?
Well, I think my ability to have, like, just, continue to just try and be good every day and have some truth every day, and then, people be like, oh my God, I love what you did, or, like, as absurd as that storyline was and we didn't really like it, we're so committed to it, and I really think a big part of it is that I think certainly trying to be gracious to the fans, and having a reputation like that certainly helps. And obviously, like, if you're going to have longevity in any business, you want to have a reputation like that and be committed to your work. So that, for me, is always something I've tried to do on the daily. Obviously, like, some days are going to be better than others. It's just how life is. But, over time, that defines your legacy, for lack of a better word. Like, be prepared, come to work prepared, be professional. Don't be cranky on days when you don't want to show up to work or don't feel like doing it. Just, like, be gracious to your co-stars, all of those things. And sorry, what was the part B again of that?
And the part B was days in general, the overall feeling that the fans have stuck, and it's actually a success.
Oh,
carried
right.
over
Yeah,
to Peacock.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's incredible, and certainly a testament to the show and the fans. And I do think that it's also a great fit for them in terms of their business model, right? So we have this, like, very loyal fan base, and we can put on a show every day, and so it drives people to watch. And I don't think the show is exorbitantly expensive.
On their way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a great fit. I will say that when we first went there, it was this very quick announcement, and we weren't really notified as to what was happening until it was basically upon us. And I think, like, everyone sort of, like, thought the worst, like, oh my God, wait, what we're going, and it's been great. So, and they've been totally supportive, and onward we go. So, really
absolutely
grateful for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Anthony. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes.
I've said it a million times, and I'll say it a million more, that soap fans are the most dedicated fans you will ever find. And when they love a show, or they love one of the characters, or whoever plays that character, they will follow them no matter where they go.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the neat part is, right, so I think it was like Candace or someone who was like, Rafe, and then I'm like, like, as much as they're invested in the character, so are we, right? So I've played this character for 13 or 14 years now, and so he's, a very, we're very close. So in other words, like, and I understand too, and having been around the fans a lot, like, they speak to Rafe and not necessarily to Galen. So I get that. I get that investment of time and emotion and, all these things over literally, for some of these characters too, over decades, right? So I think as the actor, like, you better be nice to the fans because, God, they've invested so much time and effort into you.
Right.
So you owe it to one another. You've been there for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you just
got to think
about
you just got to think about Rafe as your brother, and he's the one that brings in the paycheck as well. So
right. Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. He's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like Rafe. He's a good brother for sure.
Definitely. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, especially coming through right after work. We know how hard you work, and we really appreciate it.
Well, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that it worked out, to be honest with you. And great question, super fun, and glad we did it.
Thank you.
We're
back. Too.
We're very happy.
We welcome you back anytime.
Oh, fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and thank you again so much for having me. And whenever you want me to come back, I will come back. Maybe I can drag Jensen on here with me one time or something. Do something together.
That would be awesome.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
That would be great.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Thanks again. Take care and keep
you
watching
too.
games. All right.
We will.
Always.
Night. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Okay. He's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna tell who my other favorites are because I don't want other people saying, "Wait, aren't I a favorite?"
Yeah, you don't want to play favorites. It's like children. It's like children.
Right. I was just gonna say, like children, you can't tell them who your favorite is.
That's true.
Yeah, but you know what, Pam? I am really sitting here thinking there's a magic in this crew. They talk so real with us compared to other interviews that they do, and it's a lot of fun to have fun with them and let them have human moments.
Well, you know what we try to be professional, but we also want it to be conversational and down to earth. So. Right. I think we achieve that most of the time.
I think we do. Carolyn, how's the heart palpitations?
I know, right?
I'm making gestures to my daughter's in the family room with the sliding glass doors closed, and I've got my hand pumping. I'm going, oh, my heart's pounding.
You're so cute.
I think one of the qualities of the crew is that we kind of embrace the stars like a friend. You're just talking, having a conversation with a friend. And it really, when it comes down to it, being in awe of it, we're all human beings. We're all, and I think most of the stars that we've interviewed, they feel that, we're not, kissing their ass and, being all cozy. And I think it shows. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I have
your
to
opinion.
agree.
And you said ass.
No, I am shocked. What kind of show is this?
I know.
My ears.
I'm sure Carolyn has said that a time or two.
Yeah. I don't think on this show, though.
I was going to say, not on this show.
Only David knows. He calls me naughty.
I know you're naughty, but just chew on the image of me clutching my pearls for a second.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I got my rosary. Oh, Miss Carolyn. I have my rosary right now. I'm praying. I'm like, oh. The language.
You guys are goofy. You guys are goofy.
But that makes us work. Yeah. That's what makes us work is that we're allowed to be ourselves around each other and also with the stars, no matter, but not like too crazy or anything. Like we make them feel comfortable. And
except when
I think
make proposals for you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I wasn't there that day. I don't remember that.
I don't know what they're talking about, Pam. I don't know what they're talking about. So I guess I did something. I don't remember. I
don't know. I think there might have been magic muffins involved or something.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Being the fifth.
Well, I mean, because
I won't say Jordy, Phillips or anything like that.
I mean, no, right? I got thrown under the bus by a certain somebody on his phone.
I wasn't there that day either.
Yes, you were, because you was the one who did it. At least if you would have said Chad, or if you would have even said Greg, you could have saved yourself. But
yeah.
you know. By the way, you can listen to those interviews. You can listen to those past interviews on Blog Talk Radio and let us know. And let us know who was thrown under the bus. Who was thrown under the bus and by who? Thank you.
And I don't even think that person works here anymore, Candace.
No, that person does.
What you can do, Pam, is replay that Memories, say memories, and we want to vote. Thrown under the bus.
Me and my big mouth. Okay, we have got to pull it together.
She survived.
The show must go on, darling.
Yeah.
By the way, I still have not gotten my answer yet regarding that proposal. So, Greg, if you're listening out there, hi. I'm not waiting or anything because I know life goes on, and so do we.
Be patient. Be patient. If we replay it.
He's busy. He's busy doing his crab boil. I was watching his stories yesterday. He's making a crab boil.
And see, this is not helping the cause because I love seafood. But now that I know, see, this is things that you need to know about your future spouse, that they can cook your favorite food.
There you go.
See, Take-Two Radio. That's a Take-Two Radio relationship thing right there. That's a relationship rule right there. If you are looking for a relationship with, make sure that the person that you are interested in can actually cook your favorite meal or favorite food or make your favorite dessert. There you go.
Good question.
Or at least know where to order it from.
Exactly.
Have that number on speed dial and you'll be okay.
DoorDash.
Yeah. Now I'm Italian and I love to cook, but when it comes to something specific, it's all about the Uber Eats for me.
I mean, I'll be honest. I can bake. I'm a good baker. Like, I inherited that from my great-grandmother. Like, I can bake a cake, sweet potato pies, pecan pies, apple pie. So, yeah, I can do that. But flip side,
I'm reeling in the fishing line, honey. We got to get back to the actual question of the hour.
Okay.
Your impressions of the nominations as they stand.
Okay, like I was beginning to say, I'm very surprised at some of the nominations, but in a good way, because I think for so long, and this is not a dig to the actors, please don't take it, but I think we've gotten comfortable with the familiar names in the categories. You see what I'm saying? Instead of like, okay. Instead, this year was like, wait, what? Oh, they went in that category. Okay, I can see that. That's going to be a tough category. That's going to be a tough category. Wow, that's going to be a tough category. And then you have the Bay.
Yes, you do.
And that's where you was like, this changes some things. And yeah, you know what? This is going to be a tight race this year. Thank you, Daytime Emmy.
Okay. So I got to jump in here. Exactly, Candace, because when I went through the whole list, and I'm defending everything that I said online over the last week and a half, when I went through the list and pow, I said to myself, okay, they finally listened. It's fair. It's some of these things are unexpected, but when you took a moment and let it marinate inside yourself, you said, "Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yes, okay." They listened to us, and it's fair. Now,
right.
Next year.
Right.
Someone must have said something.
Oh, next, and here's the thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If you watch all the soaps right now, you already know who's probably going to be on the ballot for next year.
Oh, yeah.
Sure do.
I know who I'd like.
Because supporting actress, I'm going to tell you right now. You see some of them on General Hospital, Young and Restless. If push comes to shove, Days and Bold. I already see it. I already have my draft pick. already.
All right. So we're going to jump to
We got to start.
We're going to jump to Days. And, Carolyn, I have the first question for you. Before we actually talk about Days, you saw the news, honey. What do you think? Miss Nancy is going to the hospital. She's going to the hospital, girl.
Oh, I was going to ask about that on the chat. How did that come about? Anybody know any background why she's coming out of retirement?
She's not really out of retirement.
Really? Well, what other soap was she on?
She's not on a soap. She was on. Have you seen Casa Grande yet?
No. But I'm saying out of retirement, being on a soap.
Oh.
She left days. Yeah, she left days.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. It came as a complete shock to me. I got no inside information whatsoever this time around, but I am going to say it. I am so ready for this. Lexi Ainsworth, I love you. Thank you so much for all the years of Christina, but it is time that they give Christina the character, the dude that Christina the character should be, and I got to say, I hope Kate Manzi does a Sarah Joy Brown and comes in all, not a trace of Abby to be seen. Candace, real quick, and then we'll actually talk about the show days itself.
Okay, so this came out of nowhere for me because I think I was one of the first people to post about it on Twitter. I was like, wait, what? I feel a certain type of way because I saw Lexi's video. It looked like she was looking forward to the storyline, which I think is going to probably be a surrogacy storyline. But with Kate, I was like, wait, Kate? Like, Kitty Kate? I'm like, okay, GH, because I already see people saying it, is if, Kate comes in, you give more stories to Christina, then I'm going to say this. I want to see what she brings to the table. I want to see the dynamic that her and Nancy Lee Grahn has, especially Maurice Bernard, because to me, that is how I'm going to, what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though, you have chemistry with loved ones, but that is your main core right there. So I do want to see what happens.
And Candace,
Lexi,
Timo, too. Timo, too.
Well, I'm saying Nancy and Maurice because, when you have siblings, you can gel with them. But the dynamic that Lexi had with Maurice and Nancy, that's just the equivalent of like a super couple, if that makes sense. So I will say this, Lexi, it has been an honor and a privilege to watch you grow up, girl. You really grew up into your role, and I was so proud when you won that Emmy. Kate, girl, I've been with you since days. I'm happy that you're taking this job on. And let me say this real quick. Folks, she took a job. It wasn't like she purposely was like, I'm Kate Manzi, Emmy Award winner. I'm taking on this role. Yes. Like she literally took a job. Now, do we know if it's recurring or a contract? We don't. From my end, we don't. But I want to see what she brings to the table. So, hey, it could have been worse. They could have killed Christina off or put her where Lucas is. Where is Lucas, by the way? Where
Exactly. He's in Grandma Audrey's attic.
Obviously, all you guys feel that it's a good move on her part, on DH's part, so you're all happy that she's.
Oh, yeah. It was a surprise to me.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sad because it was like literally, because the last episode we saw Lexi in, we didn't know that was going to be her last episode. And it does feel like this was a emergency recast or, I'm going to be honest, something still isn't settling with us because, again, we saw Lexi's video. She said it was a mutual agreement, but, body language says a different story, but, we're not, But it's just, again, for GH to recast the role, that means that they have some kind of investment rather than just write the character off and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, that was her last episode without a proper goodbye. Or so, yeah, it's still, it's one of those things where it's, again, we're losing somebody that we literally grown up watching. We really we've really seen this girl grow up. And it is hard to say goodbye, especially when it's just like out of the blue. But at the same time, is we're giving, and let me say this, we're giving an open door welcome to Kate, who is coming into the role. And we need to, honor that. You can still be in your feelings. Trust me, you can. But this was not the actress's fault. I just want to point that out. So, yeah.
You know what? The only thing that throws me off on this is Kate seems so much older than Lexi. Do we know their age difference?
I don't offhand.
Well, you see, I think Kate is, 36, right?
Yeah, I think they're about 8 years apart.
Okay.
So that's what throws me off, is because it seems like Kate is almost too old for this role.
Well, no,
I know she's a phenomenal actor.
No, Lexi, wait a minute. Lexi is 30. She'll be 31 this year. And Kate is 35, 36. So it's only 4 years, kind of 4 or 5 years different. Yeah. So.
Yeah, okay, Lexi, we love you, but here's the thing. Lexi has the Robin Scorpio syndrome right now. Kate is going to come in and make Christina a woman. Right now, Christina is still like the teenage daughter of Sonny and Alexis. Kate's gonna come in and soar us basically, Christina into womanhood.
Yeah, it's just going to take a big adjustment for a lot of people.
Yeah,
including myself.
Yeah, a big transition. I mean, they're both very good in their own right, and
they have different acting styles. They do have very different acting styles, and I think that's why I said with Nancy and Maurice, I want to see that dynamic, and then obviously with Haley and with Kelly, and then I'm pretty sure GH is going to set up something Christina versus Jocelyn. So I just want to see the slow intro first. But like I said, it's like, we're used to this, but at the same time, I think we're just like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait.
Well, and you know what else, too, because most of the time when somebody is recasted, we know a lot sooner than when it happens on screen. And this is basically, just happened like almost on screen. You know what I mean? Like one day you tune in and you see, like with Lucas, one day you tune in and you see one Lucas, next time you tune in and you see another Lucas, and you had no idea that was happening.
Yeah.
Exactly, but you know what? Also, there is something to be said for this has been done with other major characters and major players before. Billy Miller is definitely one of them. That was not necessarily a hit, and yet the Nina switcheroo. I love Michelle, and she played a Nina that I absolutely loved and adored. There was nothing wrong with it. She would not be playing Nina the way. Not Anne.
Cynthia.
Oh God, why am I calling her Annie? Cynthia is playing her right now, and I love this Nina. To have characters that you
know
want
what
to slap.
I think the whole difference is. The whole difference is because we saw her grow up with. We grew up with her. That's the whole difference.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It's not even
Robin,
so much of the recast.
But I think
Robin had to go away and stay away for like 4 or 5 years to come back and be the woman and play the storylines. And I think Jennifer Ross was like, we want to play these storylines now, and the viewers won't let Lexi be this character. So let's see what happens with Kate. I really think that's the idea here.
I kind of see it.
Kate is so well known. Kate is so well known. I mean,
she's well known to date. I'm just going to say this. If you watch all 4 soaps, you know who Kate is because you watched her on Days.
Right.
With GH viewers, and I'm going to say this, GH viewers, allow yourself to feel how you're supposed to feel about this, because I think with social media, it's like Pam, you said the number one thing. Everybody was saying about the age. Again, okay, there's some characters on these soaps that play above and below their normal ages. The thing is that it's the writing that's going to make all the difference, and I think that's the thing right now that some GH viewers have said on, has expressed on social media is, okay, with Lexi, she was willing to be on the show. They could have gave her the material because she said it in the video. If you're going to give Kate the screen time that Lexi deserved, then that is going to be a thing. So I'm going to wait and see. Like I said, I feel as though with Lexi, and I've, this has been my number one complaint. You had Christina, be bisexual. That was your big story, and you dropped it. You treated her like she was day player number 42.
Yeah.
Yes, she
should have been when she should have been right there when Michael and Jocelyn was doing all this stuff to Sonny and So and again, the fact that when they announced it, they had already said, "Oh, by the way, that was the last time we saw Lexi was at the wedding taking Polaroids." Like, hey, we are family, hey. And now right before Memorial Day, we see Kate Mansi. So, yeah.
Right.
Well, it's going to be strange, but
I don't even think they do it anymore. Yeah, years ago they used to come on and then, the voice would come on and say, "Well, so and so's part is going."
The role of Anthony is now being played by David.
Yep. they don't do that They don't do that anymore.
The role of Asa Buchanan will temporarily be played by David Hyde. All right, Carolyn, get us up to speed on Days.
I want to ask Carolyn, what does she think about Nicole being pregnant, and who's the baby daddy?
Who that is?
Eric.
It's going to be the Immaculate Conception, but I mean today they can do so much with with surgery and vaginas and penises and whatever.
Wait a minute.
What kind of show is this?
And it is a hospital setting.
This?
They might have been doing something behind the scenes, but I'd like it to be Father Eric.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the majority of the fans are rooting for Eric to be the dad.
And his new acting gig and whatever. I mean, he's really getting his chops into this part, and he's not the pussy anymore.
He's on a roll today.
Oh my God! Drinking, I want some now.
What is this? We're a wholesome show.
The mouth on her.
We're a family show, folks. For those who are tuning in for the first time, we are really a family show. I don't know what is going on tonight.
That's why I said Carolyn's the naughtiest.
It's like we moved over to Peacock.
Oh, Zach, you gonna blame Peacock? She blamed Peacock. Oh, Lord. Okay.
Transitioning.
Oh my gosh, this is too funny.
You have to put in the intro.
I'm so sorry for those who thought this was a wholesome show. I apologize. So sorry.
Oh my God!
I think we're going to get
I have to say we need to get rid of Sloan. I cannot stand her.
Oh.
Thank you.
I can't believe I'm about to say this.
Go on. You're going to be the only one that likes her, right?
I need a Sloan. She's messy. I need her. I need Sloan. I'm sorry. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. At first I was like, oh Lord child. Oh no. Then I thought they were gonna take her a different direction, especially when she was sleeping with Eric. God bless you, by the way, girl. Then I was like, what in the world are they gonna do? What can they do? And then I was like, when she said I'm Sloan Peterson to EJ, I was like, oh, keep her. Because I'm like, okay, I see where this can go at. Now, the brother stuff, I'll talk about that later. But, yeah, I need a Sloan because here's the thing. In some weird way, she has early Nicole traits.
Yes. She's your Sammy Joe, Candace.
No, I even put her in that yet. She has to do two things to get that honor. Two.
Oh yeah, she doesn't have the fire. She doesn't have the fire.
You can see she got something like right now.
When you I'm gonna give Candace that. There is something there, and there was so much chemistry.
There is.
So yeah. But they're not. This is the thing. Okay, they bring everybody to the edge, and then they soften them up. This time, if they're gonna do a slow burn and let us see a big, burst of bitch or a big burst of crazy, either one I'm down for. I'd rather have a big burst of bitch. We need that I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna, not crazy cuckoo Christian. Just I'm powerful. I'm a boss bitch. That's what we need. If they're gonna go there with her, I am so down for it. But if they want a roller coaster, we got enough of them.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Salone, and another reason I need to keep her is because I need somebody to go toe to toe with Nicole. In all honesty, and I like Nicole. Trust me, on some given days I like Nicole, and some days, because here's the thing. Nicole right now, think about this. She's getting everything she's ever kind of wanted, right? She slept with Eric, lucky girl. She had EJ, lucky girl. She really doesn't have much drama, right? Okay, I can't stand when a character doesn't have any drama. So we don't have Sammy. Sammy,
that's right. So we have 12.
Somewhere, making some donuts and solving some, crimes with Drew from GH over there. Anyway, so to me, Salone already has Nicole's number, in a sense. And Nicole kind of has a number on Salone. So, yeah, I need a Salone to stay on days. We can work with her. We can transform her. Yeah, to get balance.
Well,
yes.
When I say we need to get rid of Sloane, it's because, and I can't stand her. I mean, it's somewhat in jest. I say it's because I know that you got to have the drama on the show, and you can't have 100% lucky, happy-go-lucky people, all the time. Otherwise, why watch?
That's true.
Go watch a Disney movie if you want that, But
and some Disney movies aren't always the happy ending,
right? But
like Bambi.
Yeah, I know,
right?
But it's just that she gets on my last nerve.
I like the storyline. I like where it's going, but I don't like. It's like she's trying too hard. I don't know, I just can't put my. It's the actress.
And now, what about her brother, Carolyn? What about her brother there?
Colin.
That's where I was going to go. Go
ahead. And where did he get that English accent from?
English muffins.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
But
well, where did Gwen get hers from?
We're not supposed to notice if they have accents. It's called the Robert Scorpio syndrome. They didn't tell us, and please remember this, everybody. They did not say anything about Robert being from Australia for the first 3 years he was on the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Mac lost his accent.
Yeah.
And Mac too. So it's the soap opera syndrome thing. You're just not supposed to notice.
Yeah,
right.
or you could do a reverse like Michael E. Knight. Now he has an accent.
Oh my God!
And he doesn't have one in real life.
Yeah.
I've grown to like his accent. And it's different than it was the last stint that he was on. He came back and it was suddenly different again. But I like this version of it. So Michael,
I think
stick with this one.
I think it's subtler now
Yeah.
than it was before.
It's mellow.
All right, but my day's question to everybody is, and I'm going to start it with this. You've given us all the comedy. We've had enough comedy because the boy can actually act. It is time for Johnny to have some real juicy material.
Yes.
Enough to do the comic foil, the relief, the sarcastic, and the shirtless. Don't put shirts on him though. Don't do that. Leave him shirtless, but give him something to actually act with. Ladies, David.
Why don't you go on?
I'm shirtless.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I agree. I want to see. Johnny needs some real meat in his role. I want to see him play the young lead, and really give him, really give it to him. Give him a story. Don't just.
I liked it when he was.
Let him plug
I liked it when he was the devil. I liked it when he was the devil. I mean, he was nasty. He was mean. He was give him.
I know. Really, the boy has shown us he can act. Now give him something juicy to act with. He did the devil good.
Yes. Yeah. And then when he threw the bride to the wolves. No, he was good back then. He's just kind of coasting now.
It's fun. He's very cute, quirky, fun, and so I love when they use those moments. That that's the Tracy Quartermain standard. The snarky cute that he pulls off. But okay, give him something to play now. David, before we go on to something else, what's really loving or irking you about Days right now?
What's really irking me about Days right now?
I love it.
Probably, I think Nicole's pregnancy is just even because hasn't she had trouble? I didn't think she could at all after Sydney. I mean, she always loses the baby.
Wasn't Cleo or Chloe a surrogate or something?
Yeah,
Chloe
because Nicole can't. Okay, so let me jump in real quick because many people was very confused about this. It's not that Nicole couldn't carry well, here's the thing. Nicole can have kids. It's just she couldn't carry the kids.
Carry them, right, exactly.
Because of the scar tissue within her uterus. So it isn't like she couldn't get pregnant, but for the fear of her carrying a child and miscarrying and all that stuff. That's why. So, wait a minute, I just want to say this. Ron, I got your back on that because I saw a lot of people coming after you, and I was like, y'all need to listen to the history to find out about Nicole because it wasn't Ron and company. Thank you. I got your back, Ron.
So we're all going to be holding our breath while she's carrying the baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge chance that it won't come to fruition, but I would really like to see it happen.
Yeah, and maybe
there's one person.
She could have a twin. She could have a twin. She could have one from EJ and one from Eric.
Okay, so you want this to be Sammy part 2?
Sammy all over again, right? And with the same guy. With EJ and Lucas.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. There is one person, and Days, you have to do this in a sense. I need for Jada to find out. Because Because in all honesty, and I know this was a very controversial thing, but Nicole, regardless of Jada's choice, Nicole put her 2 cents into this. So to me, Jada does need to say, oh, so you're pregnant. You're the one who can only carry Eric's baby. I need for that because I feel as though that's still salt. You know, like the wound is still open, especially if she's with Nicole and whatnot. I need for, because to be honest, Stacey, this is where I have to do it. I'm not really feeling this story. I mean, happy, but knowing a couple of months ago, I'm like, Eric could have had a baby with somebody other, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a little salty on that. I know it was Jada's decision, but Nicole put her 2 cents. If Nicole didn't put her 2 cents in it, it would have been a different story. But still, I'm like, this is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that moment is going to be, it needs to be epic. It will be epic. The two of them
we want fireworks.
Definitely carry that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Los Angeles, the bold and the beautiful. David, you've been awfully quiet. Tell us, David, what's going on?
Well, today, I am always quiet. Yeah. Today, Taylor had a little conversation with Liam about his uncertainty with Thomas and Hope, and she's trying to reassure him. That's about all in there. that I can remember about today.
What about Steffi?
Oh.
Confronting Hope.
Steffi did witness Hope being a little, maybe too friendly with Thomas, and she called her out on it. And Hope right now, I think, is in denial. She doesn't want it to happen. But, the one remark that really got my attention is, you're a lot like your mother, aren't you?
No, yep. She says, are you like your mother, or are you turning into your mother, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not too sure how I feel about, like I said on the last show, how I feel about it being Hope's turn to do it this time, and looking at all. I mean, I'm not really looking forward to
I look
seeing
at it like, why not? Everybody else did it to her. Why can't it be her turn?
I think that on this one, I'm not invested in the story because it's so riveting. I'm more like, okay, you know what? There's not much left that they can do with the current run of what of the lineup, so to speak. And so if this is what's going to happen, I'm okay with it. It's a soap opera. It is all going to recycle 60 in the next couple of years anyway. So why don't I just sit back and have fun with it? But I'm not really invested because it's gripping me.
No, and you'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind. No pun intended. To not see this coming.
Yeah, I said a couple of things on the last show that I want to just reiterate very quickly. I really hope that this is not going to turn into, I'm having a breakdown, I can't manage the feelings that are happening inside myself, this is not my fault. In the end.
Exactly.
They've done this storyline too many times. They really need to take it in the direction like, I'm fed up. You know what? At some point, I'm going to do what I need to do for me.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry,
like she has to say, like, I didn't realize how I really felt about Thomas until he stopped stalking me, because all I did was spend my time trying to fight him off without realizing that I really was invested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, if they go raw and honest like that, I am so in.
Right.
So in.
But see, okay, so how can I say this? If there were certain things that did not happen between Thomas and Hope, I would have a different take on this. But I, as a viewer, just like you guys, I can't get over the fact of what he did towards Hope, including keeping the secret about that baby being alive.
Yeah,
to me,
but I get that.
Right, but I see. But my thing is that, okay, first and foremost, Steffi, girl, I know you ain't talking.
That was my thought.
I know you're not talking.
Hypocrite.
and here's the thing, Hope. As much as I want to defend you, sometimes you kind of did act like your mom. When Liam was with Steffi, you hooked up with Liam. Remember? Yeah. That's how you got pregnant.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel as though we already made it aware that Hope has these moments. But what I did not like is Steffi was like, so what's going on? Like, what did I just say? What do you like? First and foremost, Steffi, the only person who could actually pull that off is your grandmother. But she actually had used that toward her leverage. I'm not understanding this at all, because the thing is that, okay, Thomas, you ain't getting off easy either. Okay, you quote unquote said that Hope is your balance. It's like she's your constant. I forgot how it was phrased, but Steph, you're like, all the progress Thomas made, I'm not going to let you destroy. Time out, Steffi, girl. You know.
Girl, did you not drive him into almost every decision he made?
I was like, hold on, Steffi. I said, here's the thing. He was doing good. He really was until you pulled him in with the Parent Trap situation.
Right.
And also, not for nothing, when Thomas set Hope up to see you and Liam kiss, all that, do I have to do a flashback for y'all? Because apparently I'm going to have to, Steffi, because you, and then you're like, oh, you're going to be like your mom. Steffi was more like Brooke and her mom. And look, here's the thing, Steffi, you went through the whole Spencer family. Bill, Liam, and Wyatt. Okay?
Yep.
You went, and Taylor. Yep. You know I love you too, but I got to call you out. You went through Rick, Thorne, Eric, Ridge, and Nick Maroney. There, you almost tied with Reva Shane on that one. But I'm like, to me, my whole thing about Hope is, she does not want, I've always said Steffi and Hope does not want history to repeat itself because, again, Thomas, Hope, and Steffi was front row to all of the mess with Ridge, Brooke, and Taylor. So they don't want to end up like them. With Hope,
but yet now they are.
Right. And it's like, it's like Steffi is trying to use this for left or something. But Hope is like, I don't know what the heck is happening. It is kind of like a psychological thing. It's like, again, Hope in a way has been babyfied a little bit. Not all the way, okay? But this is the thing about the writing of the character because, yes, I'm going to have to do this. I love Anika Noel. And this is not the actress's fault. But I feel as though when Tim Matula was in this role, you see y'all see where I'm going at with this? It was a different dynamic. So to me, I'm like, don't try to erase what Kim Matula's version went through because Kim Matula's version went through a lot, and that hope trait needs to come back. Where again, Hope is crumbling under the pressure of being quote unquote perfect. Not saying she has to do the after-school break special. When somebody is trying to be perfect, they start doing drugs. They start drinking. They start wilding up. I don't want that. I want this to be I don't want to make the same mistake. I don't want to do this.
To Jesus moment. You and I both want the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I
want to Jesus moment, not it's I'm fragile and I'm falling apart.
Right. I'm falling apart. Like, do you know how hard it is to be perfect? Because I feel as though we had that. Do you know what it's like to be perfect speech when Steffi was on drugs?
Yep.
So it's like you got to do something because here's another thing with Thomas. It's kind of weird. It's like we know Thomas is obsessed. Let me say it for the people in the back, obsessed with Hope. We get that. That's a psychological thing. But with Hope, you're going to have to really do this. You're going to have to dig deep as to the when and the why without doing the DID, drinking, and drugs, and cheating.
Yep.
This has to be organically felt. But see, here's the thing. That's what, as a writer, that's what you do. By the way, supporting the writers, because you need that meat before you can give us anything else. We need to know because her having these dreams, flashbacks, pretending to kiss, holding hands, and then because the holding hands, I'm gonna be honest, is like middle school. Like, oh, we're holding hands. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to hold hands. Oh, David and them told me. Please don't tell nobody.
Again, it's like they're setting it up for her breakdown. And if not, so let's stay tuned because 2 weeks ago we were basically having the same conversation. Let's
By the way,
Anika Noel
real quick, Anika Noel is actually on my draft pick for next year for supporting actors.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to Genoa City. Pam.
Okay,
what are you loving? What are you not loving?
Before we do that, CBS renewed SWAT for the 7th and final season. I thought maybe we were going to get some more Shamar, like, full time maybe on Young and the Restless since they had canceled.
They heard that video he put and okay, real quick, side note, that did come as a surprise too, but we know it was production.
It was a shock.
Yeah, it was production. It was money cost and everything. I think because a lot of people tweeted and, against Shamar and some of the cast talked about it, this was the best decision because I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm like, it ain't going to end with that season. No, it's not. Bro, I need more. So congratulations, but, I wish that they would have done that with a certain soap opera back in the day. But, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm going to let it go.
Congratulations, Pam. Talk to us about Young and the Restless. What are you loving? What's irking you?
What's irking me? I cannot stand this Diane thing. And they put Phyllis in a corner. How are they going to get her out? Because she killed Jeremy when she should have went and said he attacked her and it was self-defense. But now what is she going to do because she's hiding because she wants Diane to stay in jail? I can't stand this thing and I still don't know in my head if I believe Diane has changed or not. I keep waiting for a shoe to drop. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Pam. Yes, thank you.
Was that true, Candace?
Yes, because I'm sorry. Y'all hear me all the time on social media, on Soap Party and everything. I keep saying I believe that there's a plan with Diane because to me it's like, okay, and I'm sorry, last week when Billy and Ashley, they were all talking, I felt as though this was the first time Young and Restless, y'all heard me say this. I keep saying, okay, Tucker, Jeremy, and Diane, something ain't right with me. Like, I'm sorry. Diane comes in, I'm so afraid to tell you guys I was still alive and stuff like that. Okay, you did exactly, Jack, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. I understand you don't want to be lonely and you believe that people can change, but sometimes not all the time. Like Ashley said, Diane came in, got the money, is engaged, and moved in the house. What's next, Jabot? Okay. Now, with Phyllis, okay, folks, Phyllis has faced the consequence. Yes, they all faced consequences. Yes, they did. Diane is facing the consequences of stuff that she should have been a long time ago. She went to jail. She went to jail. She realized that some of the stuff that she did does catch up. Okay, Phyllis, girl, put yourself in this spot because you brought Jeremy into town. You didn't know how dangerous he was, and to be honest with you, folks, we were starting to doubt that too. Okay, but your obsession with Diane got you into this mess, and you have to face the ultimate consequence. Just because Diane
I don't see her getting out of that anytime soon. I really don't. Once she makes her presence known.
That's the thing. But see, this is the thing. Phyllis believes Karma is a witch. I will not cuss because we're a wholesome show. Caroline. But the thing is like, okay, Phyllis is like, all right, I have to prove that Diane has not changed. Because up until this point, Diane has not done anything to show that she's a big, bad, evil person. Okay. Phyllis, and this is 1990s version of Phyllis, folks, so welcome to the party. You now know her. She is desperate to the point where she's about to put her children through the same thing that Diane did with Kyle.
Right.
The only difference is like Phyllis said, when she revealed to Summer, I know you guys can handle it because you guys are older and you'll be there for each other. Phyllis, that's not a good excuse, and I'm sorry. And you, Phyllis, you finally realized what you did because, and shout out to Michelle Stafford, because she played those emotions where she realized when Jeremy shook her and said, you have no life anymore. Everybody thinks you're dead, meaning you are not Phyllis anymore.
I have a question. Yeah. I have a question for you guys. Do you think, and I would like to see this happen, do you think Phyllis will drag Diane into her little
Nope.
Thing with her?
Nope.
She won't try gaslighting?
Phyllis.
Oh no.
No. Diane's not going to be in jail for long. First off, they are going to give us the moment where Phyllis has dug herself so bad into that there is no hope of return, and they're going to give us the moment. Somehow Diane's going to walk into the room. She's going to pull the mask down. She's going to go, "Gotcha." Walk back out and walk into Jack's arms or something. They're going to give us that moment. That's what this is all coming to, because Candace said it. For the anniversary, they're taking us back to Phyllis of 1990, 1992.
Right. And not for nothing, but okay. First and foremost, I don't believe Jeremy's dead, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of that paramedic. I think we have not seen the the one he paid off. And not for nothing, but okay. So Diane was released on house arrest. Amen, hallelujah. And we also got Tucker at the Abbott house. And Billy said it to Ashley, okay, you're so worried about Jack. What about Tucker? Tucker moved in. He's trying to get closer to you. So you got two people who's in the Abbott house who is using both Jack and Ashley, in my opinion, to get some money to do whatever. I don't know. Then you got Tucker telling Diane.
You think Tucker's using Ashley?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't.
That's to use him though too.
I mean, I do a little bit, but I think he full-on loves her and wants to be with her.
He wants to, but see, here's the thing. Okay, how can I say this in a nice, respectful way? Ashley and Jack are so different than Victoria and Nick in a sense because they do wear their hearts on their sleeves. Ashley enjoys Tucker. Like, Tucker actually broke Ashley down a little bit. Hence why he is moved into the house. Because I'm sorry, if Ashley did not like Tucker or anything else like that, she wouldn't have done 9/10 of the stuff that she's already done. So in other words, Tucker is wearing her down, okay? Then you got Diane. I just want to be a better person, especially for our son and our grandson. Tear to tears. Jack is a softie.
Oh, I know.
He believes that people can change. Ashley puts Tucker through a test. Tucker knows what kind of woman Ashley is. Come on now. I'm pretty sure that he took a course, Ashley Abbott 101. Come on now. Yep. And yes, I do think the thing is that, okay, everybody's looking at Diane with the side eye. Nobody's looking at Tucker. Think about it. Tucker's doing everything right. He's trying to be a good person. He's a little conniving on the side. Look at Audra and everything. But Diane, you can tell like she still gets irked by Phyllis. So it's like, okay, is there some kind of is she really using Jack? We don't know. But you got some breadcrumbs to make you believe that. But oh yes, I think Diane and Tucker are working together. And once Diane has the ring or something, I bet your boat goes crashing. Yep.
Yep. I'm subscribing exactly to that theory. All right. And for the sake of time, we have got to jump before Charles.
Okay.
Lordy Charles.
I have one statement for you guys.
Are
you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been off the Willow bandwagon for 2 years. I think this is this leukemia storyline is very detrimental to viewers who really have it.
Oh yeah.
And I think the execution could have been handled a lot differently.
All right, well, let me just say I agree and disagree with you because this is a soap opera. Things are not supposed to be 100% through life, even though they have done social issues and done them well on all the soaps. But sometimes you don't. It's just a soap. I would not take it personally. If I was dying from leukemia or something, I wouldn't take that personally the way that storyline is going. What I take personally is that thing going on so long.
I think that's the thing. I'm going to say this. I can't stand this storyline. A couple of months ago, because I was like, well, dag, this will kind of be like a Dominique Scotti moment, because I actually played that in my head. But the thing is that, Pam, they worked alongside the American Cancer Society with this. If you didn't tell me that, then I would not feel like this is
Thank you. That was my point. Thank you, girl.
I did not know that they did that.
Yeah. So the thing is that I would take it, like you said, as a soap opera, that a young woman is dying of leukemia. However, I also got to look at this, too. General Hospital. Michael is a freaking Quartermain. Why didn't y'all do see, this is where you could have tied it in to the nurses' ball or to something to make an awareness. Why didn't we have a bone marrow drive? You didn't have to.
Yeah.
You had the idea.
That's what I thought about a million times too.
Right. Like, you had to do all of this. Okay, we said this prior to her getting sick. We said the only way that Nina and Willow is going to find out they're related if somebody gets sick. Why did we have to insert Carly into all of this? This. I'm going to tell you, that's the main reason I can't stand this storyline. It's not because of how long Willow has had leukemia or whatnot. It's the fact that you got Carly acting like she's the mama, and she's doing all of this withholding all this information from Nina, and then, it's all this back and forth, and then it's like with Willow, it's like, honey, you're dying. Don't you want to know your biological history? Don't you want to know something? But no, you're acting as if Nina is the worst person in the world. And
he really isn't.
And I'm just like, with this storyline, it's just like, it shifts the focus on what was the importance of it, is that a young woman is really dying. And like you said, Pat, it's a soap. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so, like, because somebody, I saw somebody, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I got to jump in here. First and foremost, I need to remind soap fans out there that in emotional age, Nina is only about 27, 28 years old, okay? She was in a coma for 20 years. She had her babies ripped away from her. They were dead, they were alive. They were dead, they were alive. This woman has been through, okay? I'm not defending her. What I am saying is the writers actually don't get her wrong. She's not mature because she never matured. She was in a coma. Hello. Thank you. I had to make that public service announcement. Now, I like that Carly's involved because it harkens back to the days of Carly, Robin, Elizabeth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, what I can't stand, and I see your point, though, because everybody feels like Carly has to be in the middle of everything. I do see that point, but I actually enjoy this. What I can't stand is they made a school teacher, survivor of a cult, this woman that was strong, that was smart, that had, she was a moral fiber of make the most incredible stupid decisions over and over and over and over again, justify them in the most insane ways, and to the point where you made us feel like, oh, God, just let her die already. It'll be more impactful. It'll be beautiful. Let's remember, what was the little nurse with the glasses? Oh, Sabrina, yeah. It'll be able to harken back to that story, and yes, the whole domination. And then I have to say, to conclude my tirade, please, why did you put the American Cancer Society on this? You did good with Mike. You did real good with Mike and Alzheimer's. You sure did. But if you weren't going to invest the right way in this storyline, don't tell us that this was one of your social justice storylines, like Pam said. Just let it be soap fodder, and we would have been okay with it. All right, I'm done. Who's next?
And she...
Did I put you all to sleep?
No, it's frustrating because this could have been a really good storyline. It really could. And again, they had all the ingredients. Yes, okay, the explosive truth of, Willow needed a bone marrow because she's sick. Oh, my gosh, we got to find somebody. Okay, when Carly found out, yet again, about paternity, right, that's when she should have got exposed because I'm still salty of how that even came out. I'm salty that Michael, that's another issue. It's like, come on now, y'all had you had so much material for them to do this. And now, yes, okay, we went through the stem cells, didn't work. Okay, here's the thing. In reality, that is actually true. Sometimes a stem cell from a baby does not always work because of the percentage and the count.
Enough.
Now, that's not enough. And, yes, they did do their research on that. But then you could have had Michael, like, at ends with it's like, okay. Can we get an emergency? Grandma, can we get an emergency bone marrow drive, please? It's for somebody that I truly love and care about. Yes, this is where Michael goes rogue a little bit because he will go ahead and use his Quartermain money and corrupt those names to try to get people to do it, like go past the system. It'll be controversial because it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Rich people doing this kind of stuff while people who are not rich have to wait on the list and stuff like that. Boom, you got story going on, right? Okay. At the same time, you got Nina finding out about that. Like Carly is like talking to Michael, and Nina's like, what did you say about my daughter? Who's my daughter? I don't have time for this right now. I need to save her. Okay. Then you got Willow. I don't want her to come near me. Girl, you're dying. So you need to come a Jesus moment. Then you have Dr. Oprah. I'm like, this story went every which way and then some.
I know, and I don't blame to one tiny little extent the fans out there, but I've got to say another thing right quick. Okay, Graham Putnam, Casey the Alien, Kiki. Now, none of them are coming back to save Willow. Stop, people, stop.
There's only one person that's going to do it. And that's if they kill somebody on that show and there's a match. Because, GH, you just now, I don't know if you know what you did or not. So we got Willow, right? She's sick. Then we got Gregory Harris's character, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yep. That makes me so mad.
I'm like, Dad, really? GH, we just kind of went through something like, a little bit. Then you got Molly, who she can't have a child. Well, I mean, she can't really carry a child because, stuff. Then we just got over Hat Daddy. Then, let me see. Is that everybody who got an illness? Everybody good?
I think.
Everybody okay?
Well,
all
there's
right.
always Marshall. We still don't know fully about Marshall.
Oh yeah, Marshall.
Oh yeah, well that's Head Daddy. That's Head Daddy. That's Head Daddy.
Yeah.
Head Daddy.
Yeah.
That's my nickname for But it's just like, okay, so to me, I'm like putting two and two together, and I'm like, okay, obviously they're going to keep Willow around because she got to survive the curse of being with Michael because, every woman that Michael's been with has died or has faced some kind of consequences, a la Sasha, was with Michael. She was a drug dealer. She got drugs, hey, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know, GH, but you're like really prolonging this. And then she thinks when she finds out about what Michael's done. What do you mean?
Yeah, I just wanted Anthony to come in with the smelling salts.
What kills me is I love Gregory Harrison, and to have him on GH, I just was like, oh. And then I loved him with Nancy, and I thought, well, good, And now
he
what?
Should have been Jeff Weber.
Nancy gets him for 5 minutes. Well, yeah, but, even though he wasn't, I still liked him with Nancy, and now that's gone to the dog.
I like him with Nancy, but I'm going to be honest with you. But you got to remember that Nancy being paired up with Alexis was kind of a last decision because, to me, you had him and Finn. You had him and Finn and Chase.
Bother? Why bother if they're killing him off?
Bingo! You just said it. Because the thing is that GH, you bring on so many characters that sometimes I don't know if you have a long-term plan for them. Like, when you're creating the character, you need to have a character Bible, meaning you have to have a story Bible. So to me, because General Hospital is so bloated, you have these characters, and I understand you want to keep the actors because, hey, I love seeing Gregory Harris on TV and everything, but just because I like seeing him, that means I want him to work and not just be a face on the show. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Because to me,
I have to jump in here because so many other shows are having such success with having characters revolve in and out on a basis, and General Hospital's doing it too, but they're not doing it successfully, and that kills me. You know what?
But they have
in and out.
For
you don't
many
have to
years,
kill him
and now all of a sudden they're forgetting how to do it or something. I don't know.
Even with look, I'm going to be honest. I like Cameron Matson. I really do. But the meme why is coming across my face right now. Just because you have Cameron does not, you need to use him. And I'm not just saying to look like a statue. You need to utilize him. You had a plan. I don't know what happened. You know, there's conspiracy theories out there, but you're not utilizing his talents because I've seen him act. You had Kim Delaney on this show, and you did.
Yeah.
You know, like you have so many people on this show, and yes, the only person I will give you props for how to do it. Actually, there was two people. Allie Mills, you did your thing, but the serial killer storyline we ain't gonna talk about it. And real quick,
Allie Mills is coming back. I love it. Go ahead.
Right, and I hope they use I want them to say that she was not the serial killer. That will be the easiest fix in the world if they could do that. And the other person was and we lost him not lost him like he died or anything, but his character died, was Mr. Sheffield, Charles Shaughnessy. He did his thing. Yeah. But I think Victor ain't dead, but you know that's just it. He's a Captain Ives never died.
Yeah, I was going to say yes, exactly. And we know darn well that Spencer ain't dead. He's going to be off having amnesia somewhere.
Well, if you saw today's episode, woo! I
only saw half of it when they showed Victor's body.
They did to make sure they want to make sure that we know that Victor is dead. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
He ain't like Xander.
We know better.
We because Cassadines don't die.
No. Well,
but I do have to say, Constance was for 91 years old. Girl. Mama, Grandma. Mama.
I was so happy. She never. She told me the truth. When I met her, she told me the truth. Okay, I take it back, Miss Towers. I'm so sorry. I didn't believe it, but I'm a believer now. I'm a believer. Yes, I'm a believer. I'm sorry. I got emotional that day. That Wednesday was a good day for me. We had Helena on GH and Jimmy Walker on Bold and Beautiful, and I took pictures with both of them the same day. Look at that. I'm sorry. But. And that's how you do a roll by the way. By the way, Constance guest performer next year. Thank you. Stick to the rules, folks.
Yeah.
91 years old. And
time to say good night.
No.
Time to say good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Farewell.
We have 1 minute and 21 seconds, so start singing.
It's time to say goodbye to all
May
our
22nd.
friends.
Right?
We'll see you then. Listen to Blog Talk Radio for past episodes. Thank you, Galen, for being our guest.
For love.
Shout out to everybody.
My last chance. For Sophie Romance tonight. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Last dance. Last chance for love.
No.
Love boat sinners.
Soon we'll be coming ashore. Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah. I am forever grateful that I got to interview Gavin MacLeod before he passed.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got to talk now. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Somebody might not be on the show because of that breaking news that dropped.
10 seconds.
I interviewed him. I don't even know how many years ago.
We're not going to talk about it. We're not talking about it on this right now. We got 8 seconds. So everybody have a great week. We love you.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
On Love Boat.
Good night.